Alright, here's another downtime quarantine project that I've been putting off for years, and that is reattaching the hinge brackets on the turntables so I can put the dust covers back on. Hinge dust covers. And I've done all three of them in the desk. And you may say to yourself, big deal, Bri, it's just a couple screws. No, it's not. You have to completely disassemble the bottom of the turntable to put these on properly. These are the old Japanese ones from probably the 80s. And what we used to do back in the old days is we'd actually pitch these covers. We get rid of them, and then we take the hinge bracket off of the back of the turntable so it fit into a coffin. Well, here the studio gets dusty, and I'm constantly cleaning these turntables. I don't want to do that. Dust covers. Are they perfect? No. I found them in storage, had a couple, had three, and they're in pretty good shape, but their purpose is to keep dust off the turntables. Here's how I did it. Alright, everything's unplugged. It doesn't turn on or anything. I've got to do some disassembly. I'm going to go ahead and take the cartridge off, get it out of the way, slip mat, 45 center, and these platters, sometimes they come off really easy, and sometimes they don't. You can reach back here, pull it out. Again, these are not my show pieces. These are working turntables. There's all kinds of fun things that fell back here over the course of time. I'm going to pull out all the cables. I'm going to remove the turntable from the hole and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the feet. They just screw right off. Oh yeah, by the way, I got it upside down, and what I did was I put it in the lid of a flight case. What you want to do is position it in there in a way where it does not damage your tone arm. And I've done that. So that's the key. Flight case worked for me. You may need to rig up something with wood or cardboard or whatever, but this was an easy way for me to do it. Okay, now we got screws to remove. We've got long screws here on the end, and then we've got all these screws around the center, kind of here, 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 and here. It just kind of holds this rubber mat on. There's one here as well. Okay, I've got all the screws removed. Now I just got to go ahead and coax this cover off. It's not going to surprise me at all if it's a little stuck on here. Old funky club turntables. I got all kinds of stuff spilt in them, and then they went into the desk, and that's when it really got crazy. Alright, so there we go. Got to pull all the cables through. And we've released the cover. Now this doesn't look too bad. I can see some places in here where some drinks were spilled. I'll clean that all up before I put it back together. So once you get the rubber bottom removed, what you're going to be looking for on these old Japanese models from the 80s are these little plates right here. So there's one right there. Let me get it out of there for you and show it to you. Now, this little plate has little screw holes in it. You can see that. And what you're going to want to do is take one of your brackets that holds your dust cover on, and it's going to go here. This little guy is going to go here, so we're basically using this thing as a sandwich. And then you're going to use these tiny little screws right here to thread through the hinge bracket, through this metal bracket that's attached to the turntable, into this plate. It's very clumsy one-handed, so I'm probably not going to be able to show it to you. They sell these screw sets on eBay, I think for $9 or $10 or something like that, which is ridiculous. These are 2-cent screws you can get at a hardware store. Fortunately, I was able to find some that fit in my hardware kit. Now, instead of spending $10 on the screws, what you can do is take these things apart, and when the plague isn't going on, you can go to Ace Hardware, take this guy in here, and find some screws that thread through these holes. If you can do that, then you got it. Alright, I pulled it off. So there's some adjustment on these too. That's probably pretty good. I like where it is, and I can adjust it later too. Okay, it's time for reassembly. Here is that rubber bottom. I've cleaned it up best I could. Now what you do is you make sure you're going to get it on the right way here. So you kind of line up your holes. This goes here, this goes here. Run your cables through these holes. Now as you're putting it on, kind of feed the cables through, because otherwise it might get bound up in there, and that's kind of a pain in the butt. So that looks like it's going on pretty good. Now we can put the rest of the screws in and see how it fits in the desk. Okay, I've got the cables fed into the holes. I'm going to set it down here in the cutout in the desk. I'm going to start leaning it back to see what kind of clearance we actually have. You know what? We cleared it. That's amazing. Just to see how it all fits. Oh, look at that. That is so cool. Dust cover on the 1200. Now on this deck it kind of sucks because these hinge brackets are sticking out too far to clear the hole allocated for this deck. So I've got to come in here and do some precision cuts. Not really precision, I shouldn't say that. Just need to do some cuts with my multi-tool to accommodate for these brackets sticking out the back. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. So I'm happy. I've got these dust covers off of the shelf. I've got turntables that are going to stay clean now. Just a project that I did today. Thought I'd share it with you. I'm pretty happy about it. It feels like, you know, wow, this is amazing. But it's not that big of a deal. But again, I've been putting it off for years. And yeah, there you go. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Practice and enjoy.